So I wish I'd have known what I'm going to discuss in this video years ago. It'd have helped me hit my 3-wood perfectly from the ground every single time. So we've all been there, haven't we? We've hit that perfect tee shot, maybe a par 5, maybe a long par 4. You've got your 3-wood out, great lie, and then you cold top it, and you've got almost the same distance again. Well, comment below and let me know, is that something you do? Top it, thin it, maybe even sometimes catch the ground first, take a big divot. So I think there's a massive misconception with how we hit our fairway woods, and 3-wood especially, from the ground. Now, a lot of golfers talk about, you know, with irons, they know they need to hit down, with driver, they need to hit up. And then they talk about with fairway wood, how we almost need to sweep the ball away. Now, I want you to think about that as a concept. So golfers get told to move the ball forward, maybe not quite as far forward as driver, and then try and sweep the ball off the ground. Now, the real key is, can you control where the lowest point of your golf swing is? So if you were to sweep the ball away, predominantly you're going to get the low point back behind the golf ball. So yeah, you heard that right. You're probably getting your low point back here. Now, if you hit the ground back here, obviously you're in trouble. But then if you miss the ground back here, that club is traveling back up as it gets the ball. So you're either going to catch it at best very thin, or you're going to top it like I did on that first one. So the first thing I think you need to do is have a practice swing and just try and touch the ground, see where you touch the ground. So you see, I actually would have made contact slightly behind, and then the club would have travelled up. So I would have definitely thinned that one, but it would have been better than that previous one. So the first thing we want to do is we want to try and get that low point further forward. Now you can do a little bit of setup, so don't have the ball as far forward as you would normally have it. And I want you to feel like there's maybe a little bit more weight on that front leg to begin with. So as you make your backswing as normal, you're going to feel that you don't let your weight move quite as much on the way back. Feel more centered. And then when you're getting up to the top of your swing, you want that nice aggressive movement into that lead side. And you can see there, I would have collected golf ball, then taken a little divot, and the deepest part of the divot would have been about 2 inches ahead of the golf ball there. So the lowest point of my golf swing would have been ahead of the golf ball. The club would therefore be travelling down, hitting ball and then ground. Now we just don't want it to be excessively forward because there's not a lot of loft on the 3-wood. So again, have that little practice swing, ball not quite as far forward. And we can see again, I touched much, much further forward than I would have done at the start. Now, obviously the beauty of winter golf, get that little bit of mud off the club head. So, like I said, a lot of golfers get the ball up here. It's incredibly difficult then to get that low point ahead. So don't go right in the middle, but just slightly forward of centre. Focus on a bit more pressure left, and make sure you get your weight moving towards the target. And that is about as good as I can hit a 3-wood. Dead straight, nice distance. And the key there is I didn't really take a divot. It was a good strike, and it was as good as I can hit that. But if I want it to be even better, I would love the low point just to be a little bit into the ground. Whereas that one was just slightly above, but it was still a very, very good movement. And when I've just hit one 3 yards at the start, 240 is a big improvement. So again, ball position not too far forward. Don't let yourself move excessively off the ball. And then when you make your swing, again, absolutely pure. Change that concept of we're not trying to sweep the ball away. Every golfer that tells me that, I can tell straight away what their bad shot's going to be. So you're going to treat it just like an iron, more like a kind of mid to longer iron, but you've got to make sure that you're touching the ground. And you've got to make sure that you're touching the ground after where the golf ball would be. That way you're going to get that club leaning forward a little bit. And I know that's de-lofting the club, but when you use higher up the face on a metal wood, there's actually a little bit more loft because of the curve. So by actually having a little bit of forward shaft lean, that's going to promote the club travelling down through impact. It's going to get you a bit more speed, it's going to improve your strike, and if you can tick all those boxes, all of a sudden 3-wood just might start becoming one of your favourite clubs. That is so simple. So put that into practice, start loving that 3-wood, get good off the floor, maybe you'll knock it on the par 5 for the first time ever, or maybe give yourself a chance for an eagle.